You know, and I know, and they know, cause we know, we go all in, you know, and I know, they know, cause we know, we go all in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newest edition of What You've Been Missing. You are now watching, experiencing the All Dressed Up podcast. This is episode 131. If you don't know, now you know. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, tell them who you are, my man. Tell them who you are.
Man, what's good, my fine people? It's your man, Hef Streams and K Dizzle DC. Check out the chat. Is the chat good? Is it
Let me
working?
see. Hold on, play it, Mike. Yes, no, maybe so. Say
We
show
on,
on
we
screen.
on
Let's
live
see.
tonight, man.
Live,
We're
baby.
all
Live. It
dressed
might be
up.
new. You know
Podcast.
they be switching stuff up, man. I don't know what.
Yeah, you know, you gotta get the toggle.
There it is.
Oh,
There it is. Why is it so big though? God, dog, we ain't that old. Hold on.
Hey.
Go to the settings.
I'm still here. The chat overlaid.
It's overlaid over your face. Wait a minute.
Overlay the overlaying.
We overlaying the over. There it is. Let me put it there.
You
That's
know.
what's up. Shout out to the underdogs, man. Hey,
Feels good to be live, man. Feels good to be live.
Feels good to be live. Man, seeing that intro just gives me goosebumps, man, because it's nostalgia from when we first started this thing. It was cracking off.
It's
Big
been
Sal.
it's been a long ride, man. It's been a long ride. What
Hell
up,
of a long ride.
Much love to the Enough Said podcast crew. My man Sal's in the chat. We're gonna have some fun tonight, K Dizzle, man. We're live. The All Dressed Up podcast is back. It's Sunday night. You know, we stream live every time we do this. We're all around the world, man. Shout out to people that are listening to us in the Netherlands. Shout out to people in Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe is big right now. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. But you know, if you can't catch us live, always find us where you get your favorite podcast, man. But you know, shout out to everybody who can come through tonight in the chat. Living the dream in the blizzard, man. You know what? How do you feel about this extreme weather, K Dizzle? What is this winter meant to you so far?
Not a damn thing. not a damn thing. It just means, hey, we're gonna figure out some way to screw you. You know, when you're in retail, weather is everything. So
right.
You know, it's just a pain in the butt. You know, everybody gets scared, buy toilet paper up, and you know, I don't know what the fascination with toilet paper is, but if it starts snowing or if the weather gets crazy, you gotta buy toilet paper.
You gotta have it.
Toilet paper and paper towels.
It's a monopoly. It's a monopoly on toilet paper. I mean, you are not gonna get out toilet papered in a winter snowstorm.
I understand the milk. I understand the canned goods. I understand all that stuff, but toilet paper. I mean, what do y'all been doing? Living a dream in the blizzard.
So what do you do, man? Tell the world and all the ADU family, what does K Dizzle DC do when there's a blizzard warning? When you get the news alert, it's coming across, you know, Siri and your iPhone news. What's your first couple of steps, man? How do you prepare?
I buy Mountain Dew for my wife.
Okay.
I make sure she has an adequate supply of Mountain Dew because that is her favorite drink. And I don't want to be in the red on Mountain Dew if we got to be in the house for any indeterminate number of days. That is the biggest thing I make. That's it. Yeah.
But see, that's why you are who you are. Because look at what you do, man. Shout out to K Dizzle, man.
Yeah, okay. That's
He's gonna buy the Mrs. Mountain Dew because now let me ask you a question. What happens if she doesn't have the Mountain Dew?
It's a problem. It's a problem. It's an absolute problem. And I don't want to be a part of that. So we just gonna keep the flow of Mountain Dew flowing.
All right.
Make it happen. But look, shout out to Slovakia and our 13 listeners there. I have no idea who's in Slovakia, but
I love it.
They're listening with the intent.
Shout out to my cousin in Slovakia.
Hey, look. So before we get into some what just started, it was shout out to the US hockey team beating Canada 2-1 in the goal. I don't know if y'all paid attention to the Olympics at all, the Winter Olympics. Shout out to the U.S. hockey team winning gold. Have you been paying attention to the Olympics at all?
On and off, man. I've always liked the Winter Olympics, man. I got a lot of respect to a lot of these athletes, man. And then
Mhm.
once they put in a lot of the X Games stuff, man, like those snowboarding, them motherfuckers be flying 100 feet in the air. It's pretty intense, man. But yeah, I've been watching it on and off. But yeah, that's a big win for the U.S., man. Hockey in Canada is huge. So whenever you see the U.S. beat Canada in a hockey game, that's pretty big.
Yeah, yeah, that was huge, very huge, especially for them. Um, somebody said to me today, they said the Winter Olympics is a bet you can't do this type sports. It's that type of
I like that. That's funny.
yeah, bet you can't go this fast in the tube down a down a ice hill. Like hill, all right.
Yeah. It's a lot of you mess around and play games, you're gonna end up in emergency room type sports.
I've tried snowboarding. It's not. I'd hate to do the stereotype thing and say African Americans don't play in the snow, but we don't really usually play in the snow like that. But I've tried the snowboarding, and there's a thing. Any seasoned snowboarder knows that they call it catching edge, right? So
Oh, break it down,
so
KD.
I don't. I'm gonna be really simple with it. So snowboarding, you go back and forth, left to right, and when you catch edge, all that basically means, imagine you're on a skateboard. Okay, imagine. Shout out to Roland. What's up, Roland? Life
What's
is life.
good, Gator? What's good, Gator?
But I'm explaining to you what catching edge is when you're doing snowboarding. So imagine you are on a skateboard, right? You skateboard peeing for a little bit, and you're not paying attention, and you run smack into the curb on your skateboard. Okay, that is the exact description you can give for catching edge when you're on a snowboard. Because basically, you just the front or the side or whatever piece of your snowboard is getting stuck in the snow somewhere and is now catapulting you 75 feet in the air, even if you're going 2 miles an hour.
Mm, mm, mm.
Usually you're falling flat on your face and flat on your back. So after a couple times of that happening in my life, I said, yeah, I'm gonna just leave the X Games to those who want to X on the back or X over their eyes. Shout out to y'all who go out there and venture into the snow. And shout out to the X Games and all of our people who are supporting and representing us into the Winter Olympics. But yeah, man, I don't partake. I don't ski. I don't. Only thing I do, I might get on there and do some ice skating because roller skating is life. So it's a fairly simple transition. But any other than that, anything else you've been paying attention to on the
Hey, man. First off, shout out to Gator in the chat. Hopefully, FanDuel's been good to you today, sir. Because I told you I retired, so don't hit me with no propositions. I don't want any ideas. But nah, man, I was watching. I was watching the Winter Olympics, and they got a version of skiing.
Mhm.
It's cross country skiing. Man, man, respect to those cross country skiing athletes, because for one, if I'm gonna put skis on, the last thing I want to do is go horizontal or uphill on a set of skis. They're going cross country and literally just like pulling themselves on skis, man, for a long distance, a long period of time. I thought that was wild. I knew that that was a sport, but just actually sitting there and watching, I was like, man, that's got to be grueling. And I gotta say, the speed skating outside of the bobsled, that's always fun to watch. But the speed skaters, man, those
Mhm.
guys fly around the ice, man. So that's pretty fun to watch too. But yeah, the cross country skiing, I mean, that's you got to be in some serious shape, man.
Anything you doing in the winter?
Put winter in front of anything,
Put anything
and
forward in front of
it's a
yeah,
different
it's
level.
a different level of tenacity you gotta have to wanna do that.
What do you think about the whole city, Milan, Cortino? You think they're doing a good job? You think it's a nice looking city? I've seen some of the images of the city. It looks real nice, man. They're up in the mountains in Cortino. I personally, I've never been to Italy, but I don't think I would want to go during the winter time and be up
Mm.
in the mountains. But yeah, man, it looked pretty nice.
You look, anytime you say, "Oh, he thought you'd be a figure skater." That's cold.
Actually, low key, I am. I like figure skating, man. I used to watch figure skating back in the day when Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding and all them used to go at it, man, don't get me started, man.
So, look, all you thinking about it. All you thinking about is the drama with Kerrigan and Harding. I can't look. But while you're mentioning that, that's funny you mentioned that. So, big controversy in figure skating this year because in this Winter Olympics, um, they tried to label one of the contestants as having done the first backflip in figure skating history when we know that it was done in the late 70s by an African American and it was immediately banned. Well, it was banned. It was banned. And she did it anyway because she was the first to ever
Yeah,
do
it was Serena Bodley,
it. Yeah,
right?
Serena
Yeah,
Benali. Yeah, yeah. And so American skater was it Kubica did it?
yeah.
And so they tried to say she was the first to perform the backflip. So
Nah, Bonnie definitely did it, and she landed on one blade. That's what I remember about when I saw it back
yes.
then. And I was like, man, that's impressive. Matter of fact, I just showed Shanae that when I was telling her, I was like, man,
Mhm.
this is what I used to watch because figure skating, man, used to be pretty competitive.
Yeah.
With all the personalities when they were getting all that, spotlight on the sport.
Mhm.
But man, landing that backflip on one blade, I was like, that's pretty damn impressive, man.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. I think the backlash was immediate because it felt like what we've been experiencing for I
A
don't
long
know how
time.
many months. Well, not just a long time, but in recent times, how much whitewashing we've been experiencing of America's history and so forth and so forth. So, shout out to Serena Benali um, and her name and the internet really standing up and stepping up and bringing the truth to light before anything else go there. Yeah,
Absolutely.
you'd be a figure skating guy. Mm.
It's a it's always a tough conversation, man. If you did something like imagine you doing something, being the first to do it, knowing you did it, and then somebody being coming down the line later on getting the credit, man. That's just it's a bad feeling, man. It's gotta be a pretty tough experience, but I'm glad that she got some flowers, throughout the whole ordeal. And but yeah, man,
So, so I think how much longer we got on the Winter Olympics? I got to look it up and see how long we
yeah,
got.
y'all look it up.
I got to look it. I'll look it up in a minute. But the Summer Olympics is a year away, right? 2 years, a year or two away.
I
It's
think
usually right
two. I
behind it.
think two, right?
That two?
Because
Okay.
it's every four, if I'm not
28.
mistaken.
It's
Yeah,
every
you gotta
four.
get
Yeah,
your
cool.
Googles, man.
2028. I got to get my Googles right. But let me move on to this really quick. And I don't know if we didn't talk about it before, but I don't know if we want to spend a lot of time on it. Um, DJ Vlad recently, less than about a week ago. I don't know
It's
if you
funny you bring this up, man. It's funny you bring this up, K
so
Dizzle.
so FYI, we normally do a showrunner. This week we didn't do a showrunner, so we kind of on the fly with it. But DJ Vlad made a lot of waves, you know, doing his Illuminati, if I get killed, this is who did it type ish. And we know he owns Vlad TV. Um, um, talking about, Jay-Z is a whole big part of Epstein and he's the black Epstein. And, Jaguar White was saying the same things with him too. But nevertheless, he put out a storm of tweets and later on, he said it was sarcasm and all sorts of nonsense. But um, should DJ Vlad be canceled? And I kind of answer it with the how soon. Are you familiar with this? What he said and how this went?
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
What is your take on
I mean, the first thing was, you look at the source, right?
it? Mhm,
It's DJ Vlad.
mhm.
If you don't know who DJ Vlad is, we're not a big gossip podcast. Speaking of the all
No.
dressed up, we do follow current topics and things, which is why this came across the timeline. But DJ Vlad's been on YouTube. He's a big time interviewer. He gets major celebrities and political figures to come on a show
Mhm.
and basically answer questions about current topics and news, and typically comes off like a fed. He has a very um interrogative style of questioning, but that's been his niche. He's done really well for it. But this week or last week was a major clickbait scandal
Sure.
because he's got a huge following on YouTube, on Instagram, or social media. So he puts out a tweet, and basically it says he has a confession. He starts it off by saying, "I have a confession." Now, DJ Vlad, because he's so popular now, he does have his hand in media as far as hip hop advertising. Like some artists have, paid him and other personalities to promote them, to run stories on them because that's kind of a way to stay in to the
Right.
conversation. But the first thing he says is Rock Nation has been paying me to support Megan. So what that is, that's obviously Meg The Stallion, and
Mhm.
she's gone through all her court cases and issues with Tory Lanez. So he's already opening up by talking about things that can be true. I mean, it might not be true, you know what I'm saying? But everything that he said in this tweet could be true upon further research. And
Mhm.
that's the issue of why this went so viral because even though he says he was being sarcastic, people have thought Rock Nation was paying people off. They also paid off all the jury members to convict Tory. That's obviously going to
Mhm.
get clicks. They bribed the judge too. Jay-Z did a verse for his grandson's new album. I don't believe that. They paid off Megan's doctor to lie about the bullet fragments. It's extreme. But that's what they're doing now, and you know, obviously, it looks like it's just a whole big bunch of hoopla.
Trash. I'm sorry.
That's what the
I'm
people
sorry.
want. That's
That's
what the
what the
people
people want.
want, man.
That's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get trash, and trash in, trash out, and that's what keeps the motor running. That's what keeps the bills getting paid. You continue to do. You continue to perpetuate a lot of trash conversations, and don't add anything to society other than clickbait and trash. So, shout out
But
to DJ man. I
I've
know
been
you.
hearing Jay Z's name dropping in a lot of this Epstein conversation lately. He's been popping up in some emails. They were talking about his part in the gentrification of Brooklyn. It came out with the email from I think the owner of Barclays to Epstein back around the time when that was going down, and he was like, making references to Jay. But again, it's very interesting to see all the names that came across and did business with
Mhm.
each other and rubbed elbows with each other because Jay-Z's not the only person. A lot of the quote unquote celebrities that you like is coming up in these files and in these emails. So I don't know if Jay's gonna go down anytime soon, but I don't think this is the last time you're gonna hear some stuff like this at all.
I think the concern that I have when we're talking about you talking about investments in African American influential communities, um, gentrification does get thrown in heavily because the investments coming in saying, okay, they're gentrifying. Well, they're s- part of it's true. The other part of it is they're investing in the community to bring money into that community to build it up to revitalize that community.
Right. You
Now,
wanna attract to that community.
you want to attract to that community. So let's just take really. I'm gonna extrapolate this JC Epstein into something that's real. Let's just say I live in PG County. A lot of folks live in PG County, or they live in certain areas. And one of the things that, let's say you live in Baltimore, there's certain areas of Baltimore. If you want to go out and get something to eat, like go to a nice restaurant, you got to go to another side of town, right or wrong.
Right.
Where we live, you feel like you got to go to a different side of town, or go to a different county, or different city, or different community to get the type of restaurants that you want to go to, whatever they are. And then the thing you get pissed off about is, why isn't that any of that in your neighborhood or in your community? You're like, oh man, the argument that I get is, every time I look, they're putting up more gas stations. They're putting up more gas stations, or they're putting up more 7-Elevens, or they're
Right.
putting up something that you don't necessarily think you need. But the issue comes into play is because you're continually putting your money into those other places, those other cities, those other counties, they're going to keep building out there. And the only thing that you spend your money on in your community is what? Gas. Because you get it right before you get home and you get it right before you go to work. And so they see where your money is flowing. Remember when they used to collect your zip codes?
Yeah.
They'd be like, okay, put your zip code in so you can put your credit card in.
Hmm.
I'm dating myself. Now they don't have to do that anymore. Now they track your phone. Now they track your card. Your card gives the information willingly. You don't have to do any of that. If you got a rewards plan, you put your phone number in. They know exactly where the money's coming from and funneling. So they're not going to put that stuff until you start buying more or patroning more into your community, and that's when it'll start attracting the dollars. That's just how the simple economics works. And so Jay-Z going in and saying, okay, we're going to bring A, B, and C, X, Y, and Z, the Barclays Center, we're going to vitalize it, we're going to bring the Nets to Brooklyn, right? And we're going to bring all this other outside money in, is trying to funnel the money back into the community and say, okay, well, it's pushing other people, it's pushing people out. If you don't have policies and you don't have things in place to help those who may not be, like, maybe below the poverty line, so they can get affordable housing and things like that, that's what happens. DC's been doing that for years.
Right.
Happening in DC for years, because there hasn't been the right policies and procedures in place to allow those people who've been there for years, who maybe can't afford the new stuff, or the taxes being raised up there and pushing them out, to allow them to stay in the places that they grew up in which that is their community. So the gentrification thing is thrown around a hell of a lot more than I think it should. And I know I'm making a big argument way from, Jay-Z to Epstein to Barclays to Brooklyn. But that's a big thing that was sitting on my chest for a minute. It's like, yo, y'all got to figure out, y'all got to really put your money where your mouth is. And if you want the real stuff in your neighborhood, don't be Jay-Z. Don't get involved with Epstein. Don't get involved with DJ Vlad.
But
Put the,
with that being said, Vlad won't be canceled because every time he sits down with a Boosie, his shit goes viral because that's what the people want. They want to hear that gossip. When he sits down with a Tony Yayo, their interviews go crazy. And speaking of Tony Yayo and G Unit, I don't know if you saw it, but 50's at it again, man. That dude is the worst person you want to go against you. I think Jim Jones got locked out of where they do their podcast.
yeah.
Jim Jones has a pod,
Mhm.
and it went viral. They were showing him kicking down the door to the damn podcast studio, to which I think he owes the rent or something like that. So
Yeah.
that's again, if you into that type of shit,
You gotta have, you can't be an enemy or allow 50 Cent to be an antagonist to you, because he
nah,
is going to drag you through the mud. And then if you're going to carry on like that, you gotta have your shit in order. And Jim Jones ain't got his stuff in order.
to
So,
say the least, man.
to say the least. And so you put yourself in your own precarious situation by allowing others who have more money than you to make you look like a fool. It's sad state of affairs, but it is what it is. And when I seen that picture of him trying to kick the door down, I said, "Oh man, that ain't a good look, my guy.
Here
That
we
ain't a
go
good
again.
way to build. Here we go again. Oh shit, here we go again. That's a bad look. Definitely bad look. So, word to the wise, never cross 50 Cent. He got too much of a he's winning too much at life for you to be crossing him.
The man can write the book on how to win, how to beat your opponent every time. I mean,
How to win and keep your opponent down.
it's flawless, man.
Flawless victory.
Maybe it comes down to picking your opponent.
Is it?
Maybe it comes down to already knowing who you're going to beef with before you even get into it that far, because he has some type of
Yeah.
competitive advantage every time, man.
He's just been winning. And so if you're not winning at that same level or in the same circles, you're not.
Mm.
50's on that Tyler Perry trajectory. You feel me? So shout out to the man Curtis Jackson doing his thing in the
Speaking
second part of his life.
Speaking of Tyler Perry, did you see the latest Tyler Perry movie on Netflix?
Did
Not to
not.
give a
I heard it
shameless
was coming.
plug. I actually walked into it not really expecting much, man. Because lately Tyler Perry's been hit or miss. But this one, and I sent a message to the group chat. I actually liked it. I
Yeah.
actually liked the movie, man. I like the message behind it. I like the acting. The movie actually kept my attention, man. So shout out to Tyler Perry. If you get a chance, if you want to see something funny with a little message behind it, go check out the Tyler Perry movie on Netflix, man. It's the road trip jump.
Okay, look. Shout out to Tyler Perry sponsoring that current quick 10-second ad.
Hey,
It's our first
clip
one.
it, clip it, clip
First
it.
sponsor. We're gonna clip it. Tyler Perry, send us 15 cents.
Y'all know me, man. I'll tell you when I think something is some shit, and I'm really ever never giving Netflix anything as far as credit on something good, but that joint was all right.
Yeah, you do be hating sometimes. We're gonna let that
Yeah, I
slide.
do. I do.
You do be hating in a major way. But look, man,
Hating in a major way.
let's get into the deep dive, man. I'm gonna let you lead the way on that, man, because I know you got some things on some things on your chest there.
Well,
Before
no, I was gonna keep it. I
intro,
was gonna keep it real.
look,
Oh
there you
man.
go, man.
Oh man.
You got to take it through the sports,
I'm
man.
gonna
You
tell
gotta
you right now. I wasn't gonna touch pause Sean Mannion or those Eagles today, but I always have an open floor if y'all want to do it. If y'all want to do it, Sal says I'm here in the chat. Put the phone number up, K Dizzle, because we're live. It's K Dizzle DC and Hef Streams. And whenever Jalen Hurts comes up into the conversation, shots get fired, punches get thrown.
no,
Text
we keep
301
it.
857 1757 and join the conversation. I'm always open to a Philadelphia Eagles conversation.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You always in for a Jalen
Hate,
Hurts hate,
hating, hate, 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 hate.
hate. Yeah, you in
Hey
the
man, look,
hate.
Sean Mannion. Let's see.
Stop it.
More or less, Sal. More or less. 3,500 passing yards for Jalen Hurts.
Here we go.
Write it in the chat, Sal. More or less than for 3,500 passing yards for Jalen Hurts in the chat for next season.
For next season.
I'm being
Oh man.
don't be scared now. Y'all started it. I was minding my business. We were having a great conversation. We were talking about DJ Vlad getting canceled. You had a great segue into talking about our deep dive, and then
Mhm.
Sal says, "Shout out to Sean Mannion."
Now let's keep in mind, okay. Let's go keep in mind.
Ooh,
What do you say? Less
that's why I love you,
9-8
Sal.
record. So out of the let's say 6 seasons that he's played, okay. 6 seasons that he's played. He's only went over 3,500 yards twice.
Which is why I asked the question, Kermit. That wasn't an
22,
uneducated question.
22, it was 3701, and 23 it was 3858. Now the year they won the Super Bowl, he didn't even throw for 3,000 yards. It was
Didn't have to.
2103. Didn't have to.
So it's a good question because it's I'd say a pretty high benchmark for, a good threshold for the Eagles' success. If he can throw for more than 3,500 yards. Sal saying less. Not an A record this year. What
Nine
do
and
you
eight.
say, K Dizzle? Go ahead and respond to your boy, Sal. Let's get a
Sal
clip. Let's get a clip for enough said.
Dontavius Joseph. Okay?
Ah,
The worst and best Eagle fan I've ever known in existence. Says that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to have a 9-8 season for the 2026 year. I don't know if you are mistaking with the Chicago Bears or the Minnesota Vikings or the Atlanta Falcons. I don't know who you're talking to, but I don't think you are really considering that the Philadelphia Eagles will have a 9-8 season. I think they will run more. Best Eagles fan. I don't know. You can't say that because I've heard you say some erroneous, outrageous things that I never thought I'd hear Eagles fans say. But let me say this too.
Here we go.
Let's say this too. Philly still has a defense to Indiana Bears. Philly still has a defense. The only thing we've ever had issues with recently is just the offense. The Philadelphia Eagles will win the NFC East division. They'll probably go. I will give them 17 games, right? I'll give them 13-4.
Wow.
I'll give them 13-4. And it will be a dominant 13-4.
So Sean Mannion's getting all the credit.
Sean Maine is getting all of the credit. Absolutely, because credit goes to where credit is due.
Wow.
Kevin Patullo was trash. Everybody, my blind great great grandfather could see that.
Sal, clip
Okay,
this, Sal, because this is a big prediction that K
13
Dizzle
and
made on our episode of the All Dressed Up podcast.
You can clip it 13-4. Now, the only way that this doesn't happen, the only way it doesn't happen is if Jalen Hurts goes down. Okay.
Okay.
That's
That's
the only way
fair.
it doesn't
I
happen.
wouldn't hold
If
it
Jalen
against
Hurts
you.
goes down.
I wouldn't hold it
Because
against
Tanner
you.
McKee is not the guy.
I wouldn't
As,
expect him to be. We wouldn't
as,
expect him to do that.
as much as the nonsensical noise was going on last year saying that Tanner McKee should be starting over Jalen Hurts, which
So the more or less you took the more for the 3,500 yards. You're taking 13 wins. So this is a whole Super Bowl run all
I'm
over
taking
again.
13 wins. I'm taking 4,000 yards. He
So
has not
you're
gone for 4,000 yards yet. I'm taking
you
4,000.
you guys must have the most polarizing fan base I've ever seen, because I can talk to somebody else and they'll say y'all won't make the playoffs.
Yep. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. We are
And
the
it's
best
not
in
and
the world.
it's not and it's not like it's a ridiculous prediction for you to say 13-4, which is why I'm actually thinking it's the most valid polar opposite prediction team you can have. It really is. I think you can have an argument for saying you guys will win 9 games. I think Sal could formulate an argument, and I think you could come out with an argument saying y'all will win 13. It's pretty good.
I don't. If you win 9 games next year, Sirianni's getting fired.
No question.
9 games next year, Sirianni's getting fired. That's just what it is.
I can't wait. I can't stand that guy's face on the sideline when y'all call the tush push. I can't
Yeah, you
wait.
know why. I know why.
Hate, hate, hate.
Everybody,
Hef
there
is
it
hating
is. There
tonight.
it is.
But y'all started it, you know.
We can't help it. We
All
can't help
right. So are we still going on to the Eagles? Are we still talking
it. No,
Eagles?
I'm over it. I'm over it. I mean,
All right.
we got now if you win 9 games, Hurts gone. I don't what is it?
Hurts gets 2 more seasons no matter what. Hurts is your quarterback.
Hurts is the
When's his
quarterback.
contract? When's his contract up? 28?
Wizards next season, Commanders next season, making history 2027. Look,
Shout out to Ralph. Shout out to Ralph for
shout
the
out to
DSU
Ralph.
sports love, man. We need it,
Talking
man.
crazy.
Need
He
it.
talking crazy unibrow dreams. Look, Ralph.
But not really, because if you think about it, the Wizards can definitely get themselves in position to make the playoffs.
The
With
Wizards
the
can
roster
definitely
that they put together, of course, we don't know how many games Anthony Davis is going to play. We have no
Anthony Davis is going to have a cumulative of 6 games played
idea.
over a span of 40 because you're going to have to put
That's
the
a
minutes
problem.
together of the of the time that he played
And they
between.
won't make the playoffs. I mean, they got a core nucleus of young talent, with Carrington and Johnson. They got, better in the backcourt with Trey Young. They got
Mhm.
better up top with Anthony Davis. And they're gonna play well in the Eastern Conference. I think the Commanders will be good. As long as Jay Daniels comes back and he's healthy as well. I'm not concerned about the coordinator switches at all. I think they'll be good. Their defense is just going to be the question. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, I'm excited for the future.
You got serious questions for. I mean, I think the Wizards. We've been breathing life into these kids for the past. I want to say 3 months. We've been breathing life into the Wizards for the past 3 months. The trades have been helpful.
Talk about a hater, KD.
What?
Talk about a hater. I have never seen
Oh
a
yeah,
bigger hater. RG Daniels, man. Sal's got to coin the phrase RG Daniels because he really wants to see. He just wants to laugh to see Jaden Daniels end up like RG3.
he does.
Sad to
I
say
think,
it.
I think the Wizards do. The Wizards do make the playoffs. How deep they go, who the hell knows? Just depends on what they look like. I'm going to say mid-season. It depends on. They got to get to the middle of the season for me to say, okay, these guys are for real. They'll make the
All right, so
playoffs by
look,
default. But the
with you
Commanders,
being,
go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but with you
No,
being with you being an Eagles fan and a Wizards fan, Who do you think honestly will win the championship first, the Wizards or the Commanders?
Commanders.
All right.
Commanders. Because even if they made the playoffs, I think the Wizards are probably like, if they stay on the right track and keep making the right moves, they're probably about 7 years away. Just being fair.
What do they really have to do to get in a position to compete for a championship? Is it? Let me make it easy for you. Do they have to draft a number one superstar, LeBron James? I know there's not many players like LeBron, but you know what I'm saying, like a highly coveted number one pick, or do they build with a lot more picks and
They,
trades?
they build with a lot more picks and trades, but they also, the coaches got to show me that they can do it.
Well,
The
yeah.
coaches got to show me that they can do
You
it.
got to develop these young guys too. And
Mhm.
I'm tired of seeing the Wizards send players away to be all stars. Shout out to Avdia for Portland.
Yep.
All star appearance, man. The kid out of Israel, man, he left the Wizards, has been hooping in Portland.
That's exactly why I just said what I said. We got to be able to see the coaches prove that they can do it.
Nah.
We need to trade for him. See, this is why we don't listen to Sal. I don't know what Sal be smoking or what THC, what cannabis, what level, the measurements that he be taking, but it'd be off.
Sal's trolling. He knows nobody
Yes.
wants to trade for Embiid. Worst contract ever. The 76ers are never going to win a championship.
That's gonna be a while. It's gonna be about 10, 15 years. But look, the Commanders have some big issues. They got some big issues on defense. And I don't know how do you they got some big issues on defense. They got some issues on the offensive line. You got a little bit young there, but you still got some old players there. And Daniels just has to stay healthy.
And I think they still have to get a more solid running game. And however they got to do it, is it going to be with this committee situation? I don't know. I don't really like it. I think really you need two good backs. I wouldn't necessarily have three if it was my decision, but they got to solidify that and get the defense together.
Mm. It's a lot of holes. A lot of holes to plug on that boat, baby.
Ah,
A lot of holes on that
a
boat,
lot
baby.
of holes. A lot of holes.
A lot of holes on that boat. Holes.
Boy.
All right, where you going, man?
All
What
right,
you gonna do?
so look. Here's the thing, man. Look, I tell you, if you know me, you know that I've had a lot of Commanders need someone to help out Scary and another receiver. That's gonna happen. You know, they still had receivers last year that were hurt, so I'm not really concerned about the receiver. They got to get strong on defense, man, and stay healthy. But stick with me because we talked a lot about sports today. I wasn't intending on talking about sports, but I've never strayed away from an Eagles conversation because they're hilarious, especially when I get to talk with my brother K Dizzle DC. But look, so if you know me, I've been having a lot of great things to celebrate. You know, I just had the birth of my first baby boy. Mr. Cash himself is here. He will be a month old tomorrow. Can you believe that?
Indeed.
Month old tomorrow, man. Time
Time
flies.
flies.
God is good. I have been I'm so thankful that, you know, my child's mom, she does such a great job. And, you know, I try to keep up and match and exceed wherever I can as a dad and pick up. And it's tough, you know what I'm saying? Like I run into some challenges and sometimes I run into a wall and I try
Mhm.
to find out like what can you do as a dad to find some solutions when you have those issues. And it's like the best thing you can do is talk to fellow dads, right? Talk to your people, man. And I know K Does with DC is a great dad, but I have entered the
I don't
point.
know about that. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
Nah, man, phenomenal father, man. Shout out to my dads out there and my moms, man, especially single moms too, because just seeing what a mom has to do with their kids
Mhm.
and to see if like they didn't have any help at all. Like I try to do something as much as I can, but like it's tough, man. So shout out to the great moms and like I said to the dads. But I want to talk about something that I needed some help with. So we're gonna make it personal, right? Ralph, we'll talk about the NFC East. He said every team has issues. We just went to the championship game season before. JD best quarterback in the NFC East, top five, top seven, the most. I
Gee,
believe it. I believe it. I believe after this year, Ralph, they'll be back on. You know how it goes. You know how it goes, man. The casuals got to see it to believe it.
yeah, he brought up old trauma. That
So I
OG.
was rolling. Look, so I was rolling. So look, stick with this, guys, and put the number up if anybody else wants to talk about their fatherhood or solutions to what I'm going to ask you guys. But where I come from, when I grew up, obviously it was in the '80s, and I didn't have, or it was a different time. You know what I'm saying? When I was a child,
Mhm.
and my princess is 4 years old. Man, my baby girl is 4, and she is so smart. I mean, you guys have seen her come through on the podcast. She can have a conversation about anything. She is just the best joy to be around. But she's gotten to that point to where she just does not listen. It don't matter what you ask her to do. It might require you to say it 3 times. It might require you to get a soliloquy presented from her on why she shouldn't do what you ask her to do, as she continues to not do what you ask her to do. So I'm going to talk to my dads today because I got a quick story of something that I experienced just a couple of days ago. Actually, might have been yesterday. And I was like, man, I got to take it to the podcast. I got to bring it to ADU, talk to the All Dressed Up podcast, holler at my man K Dizzle DC because I had a moment. I had a moment.
Go ahead.
So my baby girl's got this thing about when she's in the bathtub. She likes to create these stories and she's got all her toys in the bath. She's having a great time. But she's got the bath waters, the bubbles working and everything. And I'll see she has like a cup or a spoon and she'll put the bath water in her mouth. She'll drink the bath water. I flip out about it because I'm a bacteriophobe. I don't like the germs and things like that. So I have consistently asked my baby girl, who's only 4 years old, and that's the thing, guys, she's only 4, to stop drinking the goddamn bath water, right? So 72 times later, I have had this conversation or this proposition for my baby girl to not drink her bath water. So I'm in the bathroom. She's going for the bath water again. She's got it in a little cup. I don't know what she's imagining, if it's a drink in a party or whatnot, but she goes for the bath water. I say, don't do it. She basically holds the cup with the bath water and she teases me as she proceeds to still drink the bathwater. Hey, so the '80s in me gave me a natural reaction, and I popped her butt. And I said, "Put the bathwater down." When I did it, she looked at me. She couldn't believe it. She put the bathwater down, and she broke into tears.
Mm-hmm.
K Dizzle, chat, my
Broke you
people,
down.
huh,
Broke you down.
buddy?
Broke you down.
I sat there and cried with her. And I'm talking about, I don't know if I'm the biggest punk because I know deep in her heart, she's like, got him, daddy, got him. But I held her, I gave her a hug, and I say, daddy loves you. Please just don't drink the bath water. It's not healthy. But what do you do, man? Like, I just wanted to share that, man, with my fellas out here and the moms, man. Because I don't want to spank my baby girl. I think that you can parent in different ways, especially with her being just so smart and like, she communicates about everything, but she does what she wants to do. So what do you think, man? Give me some advice, buddy.
I didn't know this was going into a disciplined conversation.
I threw you off,
No
huh?
idea. No idea.
I threw you off. I know because I wanted to ask you without you knowing because I think it's good for us to get back to having common
Mm-hmm.
conversation that everybody can relate to, and that's something that we always build a foundation on with the All Dressed Up podcast. So why not make it a little personal and
Yeah.
have some fun?
Yeah. So man, so there's a couple different things that go along with that. You are trying to instill some discipline and you're looking for ways and some ways ain't working and you chose the way that you were familiar with. Now, um, how effective that is or how effective it isn't, the only time will tell. Because because the
Well,
truth of
thank you,
no,
Kate.
look, the truth of the matter is There's no right or wrong way of parenting. We're gonna have some people that are gonna see this and say, "Yeah, you shouldn't have hit your child." That teaches a negative impact and this, that, and the other. A man hitting that, a man hitting a child, especially a young, woman. Everybody's gonna have an opinion. Okay, you have to parent the best way that you deem fit, and it's going to give her the best knowledge and information moving forward. And you know what works and you know what doesn't work. Sal says, give her a warning and say next time you drink the bath water, you come out of the tub. If she does, you pull her out of the tub.
I
That
like that. I like that, Sal.
there's
Thank
the
you.
advice that you can use next time. You cut the time, you cut the bath time down because she used it. Now she understands the consequences of it. With you taking the direction you did, now she understands the consequences of it. And so I would like to say there's no right, no wrong way of parenting. That there's only a learned way of parenting, because as time goes on, and any parent will tell you that has any sense about them, is that you only become better at parenting as the more children that you have, right? You know, you know what you did right, what you did wrong with the first one, and then the second one it gets a little more lax, and then the third, and then the fourth, and so forth and so forth. So, um, and you can only make in decisions based on what you know, and also having conversations like this. So I don't agree or disagree with what you did. I just think you did what you thought was right in the moment. And like Sal said, there are other ways that do it. And I just had a conversation today. We were talking about parenting and stuff like that, where he's saying, my son is great at basketball, he's phenomenal at it. He's just before deciding on taking the shot, he'll pass before he takes the shot. And was like, man, you know what did we do when we played basketball that kind of taught us, that put that dog in us, you know what I'm saying, that take those shots or take those opportunities. We played 21, we played 33 because it was you against the world,
Yeah,
right? It was you against the world, and you knew nobody else could win it but you. And then you got in the guy's face. If you really wanted to win, you got the guy's face and make sure he missed or he bust, and he went back down to 15 or he went back down to 21. But if you never played those games, if you never learned that on the blacktop, or if you never really had to fight or fought someone, you come from a completely different perspective, a
right.
completely different mindset, and it's hard to learn that as you get older, and how to get those things, those natural things that you learn, through those experiences, good, bad, or indifferent. So there are other ways, like I said, give her a warning next time, or do what you did, um, or you could take the cup. That could be one thing. Just take the cup, and now it's no longer part of playtime. Or take the spoon, anything that she can use to put the water in her mouth, and that you don't want her to drink, because nobody wants to drink the bath water. Only the crazy people and the people with fetishes drink bath water. But
But
she, but again,
it's
but again, she's a child. She's young. She's
my
out of
baby girl, man.
she's
It's my
not
baby
listening.
girl.
Yeah, she's not listening to anything you say, and that's going to be like that for a while. They say terrible twos, but it goes on to like five or six, and
But see, that's the thing. And I wanted to throw in there,
17.
like, I'm at a very interesting point in parenthood,
Mhm.
and she's 4. My baby was just born, and it's like the last thing I want to do is speed up her growth rate because I want her to bask in being 4.
Mhm.
I want to enjoy these times because I love these times for her. We all know what's going to happen once she hits, puberty, teenage years. Obviously,
Oh,
you
of
know
course.
better than myself. So it's like now I have to make sure that I'm, giving enough ample attention to her still while
Mhm.
I'm, helping my infant child.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. It's like, I really it's a new challenge. It's a
Mhm.
new challenge, but it's fun and it's something that I'm looking forward to, making sure that, like I said, I can do the best that I can. So she can grow and we can just who's texting me?
I don't know. Well,
Oh yeah, you know what? I just got a text. There is a fight tonight. Clarissa Shields is fighting tonight.
oh shoot. Let's
But
see.
yeah, but what do you but how did you handle your kids as they came after the in the order that they came, if that makes sense? Like, did things change as each baby girl came? Were you just at a different place in fatherhood, what would you say?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The one thing you don't want to try to do is, not give the next child or the next child or the next child. In my case, um,
Did one get the
well,
short end of the stick
right.
because they had the unpolished version?
No, yeah, no, 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 because you try to make sure that you give everybody equal time, and it's still the same thing, no matter if they're 2 or they're 12 or they're 22. So now I'm in a different stage where I got a 24-year-old where I'm kind of weaned off a little bit, but you still have to give time, effort, and energy, and you just got to check in a little bit differently versus my 15 and my 16-year-old. And I know my sisters, we had that podcast and we had a conversation about how to effectively parent your adult kids because you're an adult and you're correlating your relationship with, or lack of with your parents as an adult and your relationship with your kids.
Come on, man, drop the name, man. Roots Boots and
Roots,
Wings.
Boots, and Wings. Shout out to
Yeah,
my siblings, Roots, Boots, and Wings on YouTube. But it's one of those things where it just you have to learn how to um, adjust your styles and kind of meet them where they need you the most. They need you in being present, and they need you to be communicative, and they need you to be um, engaged in multiple times. Now, kids are kids, and we love that for them because all they want is your time and your effort and energy, and that's all they really need to be happy. And then they can go play for 3 hours by themselves. But when they become young adults or they become adults, you don't have to entertain them. It's no longer an entertainment situation. Now it's an educational situation. And now it's a guidance, more of a guidance and structure. You're like the bumper lanes. You're easing those off a little bit as they get older, but at the same time, you say, hey, it's still here when you need it. So make sure you lean in on it. Because what do all kids start to do as they get older? We did it, and our parents did it, and their parents did it. They say, "I want to go out and do my own thing and be my own person, be my own man, pay my own bills, have my own place, eat my own food, do all this stuff." But you never want to pay for it when you get out there and understand the requirements. You know,
that false independence.
that false sense of independence because what they end up doing is become dependent on their bills. so, so now they're raising bills and they didn't realize how much effort and energy it takes to become an adult. And we've been trying to shield them for years to say, slow down, take your time. You don't have to rush into things. Or you could have came from a household and said, you got to be out of here by 18. It's
Right.
it's just one of those things where you kind of
We
learn
talked about that
on
before.
the fly. Yeah, you learn on the
Yeah.
fly. And so it doesn't change. It just the approach on how you parent just changes. And so, learning it now is and paying attention to it, the goods and the bads, is the perfect thing you can do to prepare yourself for the next one. Because I promise you, some of the things that um, you and your missus did with Nova, you won't be doing the same thing with this one. Okay, and back and forth because now there's a different dynamic, and there's going to be some times when she feels left out. There's going to be some times when the other one feels like there's not going to be enough. It's just going to be the game you got to constantly play over and over again. That's just parenting 101 because everybody feels like you're not giving enough or whatever the case may be. You just got to learn how to straddle that line and be the best that you can be in those moments.
Yeah, and that's phenomenal advice, man. And I appreciate you letting me feel comfortable to come out here and express my parenthood and things that I'm learning on a day to day basis. But that's the thing, man. Like I'm learning that it's not a rule book or a specific blueprint, right? And it's a day to day thing. But again, shout out to my dads, my good dads out there, and my moms, man, because the kids of the future, we got to take care of our babies, man, and that's where I'm at with a lot of my life. And stick with me, man, and stick with K Dizzle DC because we have a lot of things coming up. It's just life be life sometimes. So for all you out there in Czechoslovakia
Shout
and
out to Czechoslovakia.
and Russia and Jamaica,
There's 54 people in Hong Kong. I just want you to know.
Hong Kong, even
54 people in
here,
Hong Kong.
even here in West Baltimore and Bowie, Hef Streams Media is still cranking. Sal asked me the other day what's going on with Hef Streams. It's still cranking. We got the Climbback series with more episodes on the way. But yeah, man, just celebrating the life of our kids. K Dizzle, where can we find you,
Twitter,
my
Twitch,
brother?
YouTube, everywhere. We still there. Try and find us on ADU Podcast at YouTube. You're gonna see more clips and stuff. As I'm thinking you're gonna go drink some bathwater now. That sounds like you don't act like you needed a reason. I think you've been doing it already for a minute.
He has some good advice about that, man. He has some good advice. I think Sal has some specialties in the bathwater. But yeah, give us some
Yeah.
information. Submit your ideas at the all dressed up podcast at gmail.com. Hey man, I wanted to talk about emotional availability tonight, but you guys had the opportunity to bring up the Philadelphia Eagles yet again. So
Man.
next time, I want to talk about emotional availability. I'm going to start leading into the next episode because that's
Put it on the
something.
calendar because I gotta make sure I'm available emotionally.
Oh, and you know what? It's funny you say that because
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts as well. You're gonna
Oh,
definitely need your boy Jalen to be very emotionally available to Mannion. You want them to have that one-on-one conversation, that communication, that bond, that trust, because you're going to need that for 13 wins, my friend. You're
13
going to need it.
losses.
Write
Shout
it
out to
down.
the dogs, man. Write it down. Make it plain. It's going to happen. See us in the Super Bowl next year. Shout out to y'all, the ADU Podcast fam. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
And you know, and I know, and they know, and we know.